Hi everyone, it's Debbie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm a reseller. I've been reselling for 20 years. I sell mainly on eBay and Poshmark and a little bit on Mercari. And today I have a what sold video for you. I am going to share some items that sold in the month of December 2024. In the month of December, I would say it was kind of like I was on vacation, but still made a very minor paycheck. I really didn't put much into reselling in December. We were so busy with the holidays and people visiting and us traveling. But the great thing about reselling is the work that you've put in previously can pay off later. And so I still sold a total of 59 items for a gross amount of $1,544.29. So I'm grateful that I was still able to make sales despite not having a lot of time to work. Before we get started, I wanted to say thank you so much if you shared on the last video about different things that you have found in pockets. That was so much fun to read about the different things that people found, and it seems like a lot of people found tissues. That was like the most common item, and coins, and then there were a few really exciting ones where people found $100 and something and $200 in purses. That makes me want to go to Goodwill and look through the purses. And it was really funny. I was just with my daughter Sydney the other day, and she gave me a box of things, and she said, you can have these things or donate them. That's a really fun thing when your kids grow up and then they start giving you things. So she cleaned out her closet and she was like, whatever you want to keep, sell whatever you want to sell, and then donate the rest. And she had a purse and she was showing it to me, and she's like, it's really cute, but the handle broke. And she looked inside and she's like, oh, there's a lollipop and some wrappers, and I think there were some coins. And I was like, that's so funny. I just had a video about things that people find in pockets and inside purses. But I want to say thank you so much if you took time to share things that you have found in pockets. That was so much fun to read those comments. On eBay, I really did not list very many new items. I think I had a couple items that I scheduled to be listed because I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time to work, just to keep some activity going. Poshmark, I am sure to remain active on the platform even when I am not able to physically be on there myself. Primelister performs all those tasks for me that are so important, like sharing my closet, sending offers to likers. When someone follows me, it follows them back. All of those tasks that I used to spend so much time doing, Primelister does all of that for me. So when I am busy with family and traveling for the holidays, I don't have to worry about any of those things. And it's so great to come home and have items that have sold and are ready to ship out. And Primelister is cloud-based, so I do not have to leave my computer on. I don't have to take it with me when I travel. I don't have to have my phone on. Everything is automated, so once you sign up for Primelister and set all of your rules up, it automatically runs every single day, and you don't have to do a thing, all for less than $1 a day. And it is so worth it because time is money, and if I have time to put into reselling, I want to put it into sourcing or listing and not into sharing my closet and sending out offers and doing those tasks that are so time consuming. If you'd like to try Primelister, I'll leave a link in the description down below and in a comment, and you can try it first free for 14 days without even putting a credit card in. Then if you like it and want to continue, if you use my link down below, when you sign up, it will give you 30% off of your first month. I'm using Primelister for a couple of years now and absolutely love it. I cannot even imagine selling on Poshmark without the use of Primelister. So I definitely recommend it. Okay, let's start on eBay. On eBay, I sold 36 items for $1,027.45. And the new items that I did list, I did not go thrifting. I went into my closet and I looked at all of the things that I have put off. It's so bad when I have a haul and I don't list everything. Like I will get 28 of the 30 items listed, and then there are 2 that I'm like, I don't really want to list that, and I put it in the closet or in a container and don't get it listed, and that is just a complete waste of money. So I thought, I am not going thrifting. I had not been thrifting since October, and I was just trying to work through items that I put off listing, and some of them sold, and I was really kicking myself for not listing them earlier. The first one is a bicycle seat. I titled the listing, Marin Black Bike Seat, Bicycle Saddle for Performance or Leisure, Riding Support. And the way that I came up with that title was I looked up sold comps, sorted from highest to lowest, and took a title from a bicycle seat just like mine that sold really well, copied it, tweaked it if there was anything a little bit different, and used that title. And that is how I come up with my title on a lot of items. I just take from one just like mine that sold really well because I figured that worked. It sold for $31.57. My earnings after the postage and all of the fees were taken out was $16.12. I paid just 72 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It was just 99 cents a pound because it was one of the home goods. It took 25 days to sell and my profit was $15.40. So I was kicking myself. That was a great profit, a $15 profit, and only took 25 days to sell, but it took me like a year to finally get it listed. So I need to stop doing that. Next, I sold pieces from a food processor. I have a little Black & Decker food processor that I purchased from Walmart. Well, I was putting it up and I dropped it, and the plastic part that holds the food in it cracked, so it wouldn't work anymore. So I ordered a brand new one from Walmart, and since I only needed the plastic part, I sold the other pieces. I parted it out and I created 4 different listings. 3 of the parts have sold out of 4. The only part that hasn't sold yet is the motor. The first one is the Black & Decker, and then I put the model number, food processor, new disc stem shaft 8 cup. That one piece sold for $20.39. My earnings were $12.88. I put cost of goods as 0 because I had to buy that to replace the canister. It took 18 days for that part to sell, and my profit was $12.88. The other 2 parts that I sold was the food pusher, and it sold for $15.01. My profit on that one was $7.27, and it took just 4 days to sell. Another piece that sold was the blade for $14.67. My earnings were $6.38, and that piece took 27 days. So far, I spent $41.88 plus tax to buy the entire food processor. So now I used my food processor again so that I got the part that I needed, and I've received back in the bank $26.53, and I still have 1 part left to sell. So I think it's going to be pretty close to a break even. Another item that I put off selling for a long time was a Cabbage Patch Kid. I picked up a couple Cabbage Patch Kids when I went to Galveston, Texas, and I had a great haul. The things sold really, really well, but I picked up a couple Cabbage Patch Kids and I saw them and just the memories of them. I was just being really nostalgic, and I didn't look up comps or anything. I don't think. I just grabbed them and purchased them. They were $9.99 each. Well, I looked up the comps and they were not great. And so I stuck them in the closet and didn't list them for a long time. So that was one of the things that I was like, okay, I have to get this listed. And it sold right away, and probably one of the nicest buyers I have ever sold to. We've had conversations back and forth. That's been such a great experience. I titled the listing Vintage Cabbage Patch Girl Doll 1978-1982. Red hair, pigtails, green eyes, clothes, China. I put China because she had a little Cabbage Patch shirt on that said that she had been to China. This Cabbage Patch doll was a little bit dirty, so I gave her a little sponge bath. I fixed her hair. I washed her clothes and hung them to dry, so it took a little bit of work too. So if I could go back, I probably should not have purchased it, but that was just a rash decision. It sold for $30.48. My earnings were $17.61. I paid $9.99 at a Goodwill in Galveston, Texas. Once I finally listed it, it only took 4 days to sell. but my profit was only $7.62. But it went to someone so nice, and we had a great conversation, and she even just sent me a message the other day that she bought a little vintage coat for her and sent me a picture. So even if it didn't make a lot of money, that is okay. I'm really happy with that sale. The next one was brand new with tags, retail value $139 from Dillard's department store. A long formal dress, which I love selling formal type dresses, but it was a junior size 1 to 2. So I thought that's going to be a little bit challenging to sell, but I have found out that these long formal dresses sell really well in really small sizes also. I titled this listing, New with Tags, $139, B Darlin, formal dress, size 1-2 juniors, red satin keyhole halter gown, extra small. It sold for $66.55. My earnings were $43.29. I paid just $1.29 at my local Goodwill on $1.29 day. It took 4 months and 25 days to sell, and my profit was $42. So it took a few months to sell, but so worth it to make a $42 profit on just $1.29 investment. Just a quick reminder, if you're new and not subscribed, I'd love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below, and if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. The next one I purchased from liquidation. I usually try to get free people items from liquidation, and I had been seeing a maternity line called Free People Movement and Hatch, and so I thought I'll try it. It has sold so well. I got several jackets, and I think I've sold like 6 of them now, and most of them have sold on eBay, not on Poshmark, which I was shocked. Usually my Free People does better on Poshmark. This one I titled New with Tags, Free People Movement, Hatch, Hit the Slopes, Fleece Jacket, extra small. It sold for $101.91. My earnings were $73.25. I paid $32.04. I purchased it from Fox Liquidation. It took just 1 day to sell, and my profit was $41.21. So these are all doing really well. I paid between $30 and $40 each for them, and they are all profiting around $40 each. So I absolutely love that. Number one, they're brand new with tags, so easy, delivered to my door. Some of them are multiple quantities, and to profit $40 on one item is great. And then if I can go replenish those items and look for those again, I already have the pictures and the listings. So that is a really good way to make a lot of money per hour. The next one is a vintage swimsuit. I've sold several swimsuits, probably about 6 or 7 in November, a handful in December, and I was thinking about it, and I thought, if someone's going on a cruise or on a vacation to somewhere warm, you can't really go to the store and buy a swimsuit right now. So where would you go? You'd go online to eBay and Poshmark to buy swimsuits. So I have been selling swimsuits the last couple months. Of course, not as many as in the summer, but still some. But I thought this was a really cool one. It was vintage from the 90s. But it was really dusty and dirty. So what I did was I took the tags off and I washed it. And then in the listing, I just took a picture, showed the tags, and I said it was vintage. It was really dusty. So I removed the tags, washed it. It's never been worn, and it's still sold. I do that quite often. If I think it will sell for a higher value, if I can get the stain out, we'll just say that, and things always sell like that. I titled the listing, Vintage 90s Roxanne one-piece swimsuit, size 42, bra sized D, black gold, never worn, and then I also put 42D. It sold for $27.67. My earnings were $16.47. I paid just 67 cents at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 1 month and 12 days to sell, and my profit was $15.80. Then on Poshmark, I had a really low month. I sold just 22 items for $446. The first one was a coffee table book, and I have been so surprised that books have sold pretty well on Poshmark. I usually just put them all on eBay, but I've put a few on Poshmark and they sell great. This one was A Day in the Life, Italy, oversized coffee table book, and then I put 14 by 10. It sold for $19. My earnings were $12.22. I paid just $1 at the Friends of the Library book sale in Oklahoma City. I love book sales. Oklahoma City one is coming up again in a month, so I can't wait for that. It took 10 months and 14 days to sell. I found a lot of times books do take a little while to sell, but I made a profit of $11.22, so I think that is great. So I think this is my third coffee table book that I have sold on there that did not go on eBay because it was so oversaturated, but it did sell on Poshmark. The next one came from a haul that I had, a Goodwill bins haul, and I updated that haul and had a video of what had sold and what had not sold. I made some changes, and one of the items that I made a change to sold. It was the Daisy corsets, size 3XL, black lace bustier corset, full zip, lace up, adjustable 3X. It sold for $17. My earnings were $10.62. I paid $1.21 at the Goodwill bins in Oklahoma City. It took 4 months and 15 days to sell, and my profit was $9.41. So I will add to my total of how much I have received back on that haul, and I will pop it up right here so that I can show you what I'm actually up to on that haul now. The next one was a vintage lady Dorby dress. I had purchased one on a $1.29 day a couple months ago, and it sold really fast, really well. So when I was thrifting again, I saw that brand, didn't have to look it up. I just purchased it right away and thought that it would sell really well. And that is one of the great things. The more you thrift, the more you familiarize yourself with brands and actually sell them. It's so wonderful when you don't have to look up the comps and you can just pick something up. Now, if it had been 3 years since I had had a sale, I would probably have looked it up, but since it was recent, I didn't. I titled this listing, Vintage Lady Dorby Dress, plus size 14W, pink floral tiered, lined, and then I put church and wedding. It sold for $21. My earnings were $16.80. I paid just $1.29 at my local Goodwill. It took just 15 days to sell, and my profit was $15.51. I love that $1.29 day when I can get things at such a low cost of goods because you don't have to sell them for very much at all to make a really good profit. I looked up sold comps on Poshmark for Lady Dorby dress because I have come across this brand twice recently, and both times when I listed it, it sold very quickly. So I wanted to make sure that I was not pricing too low and leaving money on the table. But it looks like the average sell price is around the mid-20s. So, however, there are some that sell for much higher. In fact, I found the exact dress that I sold, but someone sold it for $50. It was new with tags though, and a size 10 instead of a size 14. But I noticed when I looked at it, it said Miss Dorby rather than Lady Dorby. I found another Miss Dorby dress that was so cute, and it sold for $72 on Poshmark. I found sold comps for both Miss Dorby and Lady Dorby that had sold for $50 and higher. So that leads me to believe I could have priced my dresses higher and sold them at a higher amount, but they sold quickly, so I can't complain about that. But hopefully I come across another one soon, and if so, I will price at a higher amount and see what happens. Another item that I picked up on a $1.29 day was Nox Rose. And probably, I bet a lot of you watch Kaylee Elaine. I love her channel, but I have heard her say several times that she has done really well with Nox Rose. And so I found it, and so I thought, I'm gonna have to try it. And I remember her saying that the longer lengths sell better for her. So this one was a longer length. This is a summer type dress, and it still sold right away for $17. My earnings were $10.62. I paid just $1.29 at my local Goodwill. It took 19 days to sell, and my profit was $9.33. So not a huge sell, but for a $1.29 day, or if I were to find it at the Goodwill bins, that is excellent. So I'm really glad that I had watched her videos and heard her recommend that brand and gave it a try, because I would not have otherwise. To go over my numbers, in December 2024, I sold a total of 59 items for a gross amount of $1,544.29. The amount that I received back in my bank after all the fees and postage were taken out was $852.80. My cost of goods was $276.13, leaving a profit of only $576.67, which is probably my lowest month ever since I first started reselling. But really, I put the bare minimum work in December, just a few hours. So that I made anything at all is great. On eBay, I sold 36 of those items for $1,027.45. My earnings on eBay, $492.60. My cost of goods on eBay was $163.90, and my profit was $328.70. On Poshmark, I sold 22 of the items for $446. My earnings on Poshmark were $309.20, and my cost of goods was just $87.01. My profit on Poshmark was $222.19. On Mercari, I sold just one item for $70.84. My earnings were $51. My cost of goods was $25.22, and my profit was $25.78. So that is everything for December. And again, not very much, but it was kind of like I was on vacation in December and still got a little bit of a paycheck. So I can't complain about that. So that is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're new and not subscribed, I would love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below. And if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day. Bye.